Hey, what's up, guys? How is everybody doing today? I think we're underway here. Everything appears to be functioning. Again, I had to move stuff, and it's always like a crapshoot if things actually work after you do that. Um, so yeah, it's gonna be kind of a weird one today. What's up, guys? What's up, Lee, Randy, Mac, Bruce? What's up, everybody? Yellow. My grandmother says that. That's how she answers the phone. Maybe that's a country thing. But no, like I said, it's gonna be kind of a weird day today. Have been expecting me, Mr. Bean. I'm not Mr. Bean. There's already a Mr. Bean, and it's not me. But nothing big today. There's like a couple things I want to work on. Oh yeah, the which side's it on? This side. The freaking head. Yeah, that's gonna leave a scar. That's definitely gonna leave a scar. My stupid bald head came into contact with something I would rather it not have come into contact with. Uh, But yeah, a couple little things today. I'm gonna start a print here. The link is in the description. Someone just posted this on Thingiverse, and I happen to be between prints. There's a print we have to pull off. If you can see, and grab the other pieces. I finally have a Noctura fan coming. I think that's how you say that. I finally have one of the silent 40 millimeter fans coming to replace the kind of noisy 30 millimeter fan that's on the Prusa. And as you can see, I've got the other pieces printed. And you don't have to do these in two color. I did it in two color just so the whole shroud thing that you see on the build plate now is what actually connects to the extruder assembly. And then the fan actually bolts in here, which is kind of weird. It actually nests in here, and then this attaches to that. And I figured I'd do it with the orange and black, so just the face is orange. And I also printed out a face for the, I guess that's like a 60 millimeter fan. Must be about that, a 50 or 60 millimeter fan for the part cooling. I printed one of those out, but I don't know if I'm going to use it. It seems like it's just going to catch dust, which I don't know. And this was a print where I had that issue. I know it's a little tough to see there. Well, it's beyond tough. You can't see it, but the thickness of the little grill grates is kind of thin, and it was hard to like strike a balance between getting that filled in and getting it to not string. So I don't know. I think it would have been okay with a point 0.4 millimeter nozzle, because then my extrusion width could come out to about what the actual width of these little grill grates are. But man, and Tony, I'm doing the same mod to my MK2. Yeah, I've wanted to do this for shit, like essentially since I've had it, and it just didn't happen. But it might look gorgeous on here, but it's just tough to see. If you like, I don't know, you just can't see it. There's little spaces between the perimeters on these little octagon things. Well, I guess they're hexagons, but it's not perfect. This one's a little bit better, even though they're the same size. I don't know why that's the case, but it is. But no, this piece looks fine. These printed together, and then the actual like duct piece, the piece that's on there, that it printed like perfectly. I can go ahead and pull it off. I think I can. But this piece came out quite nice. I don't know why it stuck so bad, but this piece looks great. This is in the this black is that eSun PLA Plus. This stuff prints fantastically. I mean, look at the surfaces on that. They're freaking great. Fantastic. Little pun there. This piece, I don't know, the sides on this aren't as good as this other piece. I can't get the light to shine off it there. I don't know. There's a little bit of like lines on the side of this for some reason. But I don't know. I'm not complaining. But yeah, it just pops in there, bolts to the old 30mm fan, allows you to put a 40mm fan in, which is significantly quieter. So punny. What's the purpose of the fan cover? It's purely aesthetics. I know a lot of people just print this piece, attach it into the 30mm, and then bolt the 40mm fan to this, which I might end up doing because it's possible this might introduce a little bit of noise. But yeah, I don't know. It looks nice. If nothing else, it'll look nice. It matches with the orange and stuff. So I don't know. We'll see. If it introduces any noise, I'll probably just pull it off. I'll probably take some pictures of it and then pull it off. And then just like keep it. The print we're going to be doing, I already have it sliced and ready. But we can pull it up here. Such a cool print. Link is in the description of the stream, or it should be. Bam. We're going to start this guy. I was going to print it bigger, but it's already going to be not a super long print, but kind of a long print. Super nice sculpt. The guy did it in ZBrush Core. And it's, pretty obvious who it is here. And I'm going to print it at 0.7 millimeters or 0.07 millimeters. That's what the guy that posted pictures of it on the Thingiverse page said he printed it at. So we're going to go ahead and try that. I left it on 30% infill. I didn't realize that, but that's fine. Oh, I did. I'm going to reslice this. I've had some wonky settings here messing with that other piece. Let's get this a little more normal. And what was our temp setting? That's fine. Yeah, I forgot I was tweaking the hell out of that this fan grate to try to get the gaps to fill. So yeah, that brings the print time down. I don't know, 2 hours and 58 minutes. That's not that bad. I think it was looking at like 3 hours and 40 minutes before I changed the infill there, since we were doing it at 30% infill. So yeah, we'll go ahead and reslice that. And as you guys know, when you use a smaller nozzle, this build time is usually off by, I don't know, sometimes up to like 30 or 40%. So it's hard to tell how long that'll actually take. I would guess probably 3.5 to 4 hours, as opposed to the 2 hours and 58 minutes that it's suggesting it will take. I wasn't the victim of road rage. No, I was just, it's been nice out, and it's been raining a lot here, and it finally quit raining, so I was outside like mowing grass and working in the garden, and I just like happened to walk into a piece of metal, and it kind of sucks because, I don't know, it could have been much worse, but if you've ever seen how they like engrave like silver, how they take those V chisels and like remove material, that's kind of what happened. So there's actually like a gap. It won't lay like completely shut. So there's kind of a gap there where a big slice of skin got taken out. And it's going to leave a hell of a scar. I'm not looking forward to that. It's character. Yeah, I was talking to some people on Twitter, and we were talking about how like chicks dig scars, right? So maybe this will take me from like a 5 or a 6 to like an 8 or a 9. Big head scar. Maybe. Makes me look tough. Yeah, right. Don't patronize me. So that's actually just preheating now. I want to do a time lapse. I've been messing with my camera, and I tried to do one the other day. My battery went dead. But I'm gonna try to time lapse this because I've never actually done one before. So we're gonna let that preheat, and I'm gonna set my camera up here. Um, like I said, it's kind of new to me. Oh, I have the battery charging. We'll let it go another minute just in case. But I have a Nikon D5500, and it has like a time lapse feature built in, but I've never actually used it, and it's something I've wanted to do for a long time. Because time lapses are cool in general, but with a 3D printer, you can get some pretty cool footage, or I've seen some pretty cool footage, and there's different ways you can do it. Like it's not genuinely a time lapse if you do a video and then fast forward it, but I've thought of doing it like that before. Mac Vision, when it's almost healed, rub in some coconut oil. Yeah, I'm gonna end up using vitamin E oil. That's something my daughter actually fell, and it was very similar to this, except she hit the edge of the coffee table and she hit it hard enough to split the skin. And we used vitamin E oil on that because you don't want your little girl having a face scar. So we used that on her, and between being a kid when you like heal really well and the vitamin E, like she doesn't have a scar at all, which is kind of crazy given how that all went down. Because hers was an impact, so it split it and it swelled pretty bad, so it like made it tear even more. Because I felt horrible. But let me make sure I'm not missing anything in chat here. Makes me look tough. Bullshit comment. Get a matching eye patch. Bjorn, chicks may, wives may not. That's true. My wife, there's nothing you can do to improve your standing with your wife. Make more money. That's about it. Oh, Fun King, you absolutely nailed it. I was actually going to say that. People with hair never understand the struggle of not having, uh, like you said, an early warning system because you get like, there's something to touch before flesh. But like if I would have like a normal hairline, well, I guess you wouldn't have hair down here on your forehead unless you had like a helmet hair. But man, you're so vulnerable. Your head's just like out there in the world. Having a little bit of hair to like protect it is something people take for granted. You should see the other guy. Somebody I already got turned into a meme. I had to laugh. I forget who did that, but it was ridiculous. People always get a chuckle out of other people's pain. There it is. Someone turned it into a meme already. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. All right, I'm going to like I said, that's resliced and ready to go. And like I already mentioned, the it's like the only thing in the description. The the link to this file, because it is Cornholio. I don't know if I actually said that, but I think everybody knows who that is. But we're gonna go ahead and print Beavis. Should be a cool print. We'll airbrush him then. Not today, obviously. It'll be like a 3-hour print, but super cool print. I figured Aspie that you'd like this because, like I said, the guy made it in ZBrush, so I know you partake in that. Have to print a wand to go with your scar? Ha. All right. It's funny I got alcohol in this paper towel and then let it lay there. So we're going to clean this up, prep it, set the camera up, pre-focus. This mic should work. Does this mic work too? Can I be heard? All right, so got the bed ready. The print's ready to actually start, but I need to set the camera up and focus it. So we'll do that. We'll get it mounted on the tripod here. And what we're going to do is we're going to have to use manual focus so it's not jumping all around over the course of this print. So we'll set... I don't know why I'm worried about what guy I use. Right there's about where the print will be focused. So we'll come in here and manually focus on our little dude there. Get our pre-zoom on. All right. Go to manual focus. Go ahead and focus on that dude. And there's a trick to this. There's like a little button on a lot of DSLRs where you can actually zoom the view in without zooming the lens in. And I know you guys can't see it, but if you zoom the whole way in, lock your focus in where you want it on whatever you're going to be like setting your fixed focus on, and then zooming back out, it makes it so much easier to get like good accurate focus. I'm like always trying to learn, and I've had some videos recently where my focus wasn't quite right, and it's such a disappointment to do a video and then you look at the footage and it's like slightly out of focus and you've already recorded it all, so that sucks. We're also going to have to do our live Z. Why can't we do... Alright, here we go. So, I've never done this before. Oh shit, you know what? We're jumping the gun here. I forgot I filled the freaking camera up with photos from the last time I did this. So actually got to clean my card up a little bit. I think I have like 1 million freaking photos on here, which is kind of a bummer. I should be able to delete that whole day. Yeah, screw the 25th. Yeah, screw the 24th too. Wait, actually, how much space is that? It's of 1,900 photos. Is that enough? Damn it. See, I'm like totally new to this. I don't know if anybody else has done time lapses. Bajorn, I tried to put a webcam on the print bed using an arm I found on Thingiverse. It shook it off. Yeah, I've wondered about those too. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like a good idea, but then at the same time, like I don't want something hanging off my print bed. But at the same time, again, like I've seen tons of people doing that, and they haven't had problems with them. So, because I think it is like a lot cooler when the camera is moving with the print. So it's like obviously the image is moving around, but like your perspective is stationary. Octoprint and time lapse automatically. Yeah, one of these days. One of these days. We're going to talk about some other projects that I want to touch on today. Because I've definitely got like 1 million things going on. Which is like great and terrible at the same time. Okay, I think that's 2,000 photos. What did we say? This is about a 3-hour print. Do any of you have any experience doing like time lapse? It's called interval shooting. Like what kind of intervals do you use? I have mine set to 30 seconds right now. I don't know if that's like too frequent. We'll leave it at that. What's the worst that could happen? Okay, so now we're ready to pre-focus and stuff. So we got our dude there. Again, we're going to get zoomed in on him. Frame him up nice. It's actually, somehow I didn't mess the focus up. So he's still in focus. Okay, so the timer is active. So there it's actually snapping photos. So we'll start our print, and like I said, we'll have to adjust the live Z, but luckily it's not super critical because this uses a moderate amount of support material. All right, this damn thing. There we go. Temp achieved. And once that starts, we'll double check our live Z. Are the cable chains worth the time and filament over the Prusa wraps? I would say so. When the heat bed, it's kind of like a personal preference, but especially for the extruder itself, I would say yes. Those cables get quite a lot of wear. I mean, it's pretty evident that on the MK2S, they actually changed their setup, so I think they kind of agreed at Prusa. All right, that seems okay. So we're kind of underway. Sorry that camera's a little bit out of focus. It's going to be, these first couple layers will be support material, and you'll probably be able to hear the DSLR. Let me turn that mic off. So we don't hear the DSLR like shuddering all the time. But you see, it's mostly support material for the first few layers. You can see in the slicer that he's pretty much not touching the bed except for one place on the back of his head, a tiny little bit. So yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how this turns out. It's been a while since I've printed something at this low of a layer height. He's at 0.07 millimeters. And in addition to that, I'm like trying some slightly different settings for support material, so I'm anxious to see how it turns out. You do 12 images a minute? Oh shit, I'm doing like 30-second intervals. If you want a detail, it'd be better to have him standing. Possibly. I mean, it might be the case that we print him again. The guy that made the file, I believe, printed him laying down like that. So we'll give it a try that way first. And this is the 0.35. This is yeah, I just happened to have this in for the last print I was working on, so yeah. Did I try the Very Slice for the dungeon tiles? No, not in Slick 3R. I use multiple processes in Simplify. So I do the bases at like 0.2 millimeters, and then the tops usually at like 0.15 or 0.12 or 0.1, depending on how I feel at the moment that I happen to be slicing it. But does anybody else, kind of going back to that question, does anybody else here have the cable chains that they did on their MK2? Because I've said that the whole time. On the heat bed, I'm kind of like, I don't, I think they help, but I don't think they're as necessary of an upgrade as the extruder cable bundle chain is. I think the extruder bundle definitely got a lot of wear, and I think the cables like really fix that in a very straightforward way. Plus, they look nice. Still praying yours for the A8. I do have an A8 on the way. I'm finally not just going to be an MK2 fanboy. I got a Trinus. I got a used Trinus at like a fantastic price. That should be here soon-ish. And then I have an A8 on the way from China, and that's kind of like, I don't know when that'll be here. Maybe in a week, 2 weeks at the most, hopefully. And then if all goes well, I have some other things that I'm trying to, some other kind of deals I'm trying to work out here, and I should have a CR10 purchased tomorrow, hopefully. How's the flesh filament coming? That's what, again, related to the head wound. I was kind of poking fun at people on Twitter, because if any of you are in some of the 3D printing like social media groups, every once in a while, like someone will ask about like a flexible flesh tone filament, and everybody's instantly like, "We know what you're doing. We know what you're doing with that." And I was just joking that I needed to print a bald cap for when because I have to record videos today, damn it. So now this is going to be like frozen in time in all the videos I record today. Or hell, not just today. This thing isn't going away very quickly, so I'm not a teenager anymore. It's not going to heal in like 4 days. You wish someone would get one of the GearBest lasers? I was looking at them. They're not as cheap as I would hope. I mean, they are cheap for like as lasers go. They're not expensive, but yeah, I just don't have a couple $100 to drop on a 5,000 watt laser. That's a terrible design. What's a terrible design? Printed them. Congrats on the growing the yeah. I'm like so happy, even if it's a shitty printer. Like I think the A8 is kind of like a mediocre printer to begin with, but it seems to be the case that with a little bit of work you can get that thing to print fairly decently. So I'll be glad to have like a secondary printer that I can print things on that are, you know, like functional prints. Like for instance, if anybody's watched the Slingshot channel, Jorg Sprov did some slingshots, and someone took his like hand carved designs and made STLs of them, and I got some. I printed them in 2 different sizes. One's for me and one's for my wife. And like prints like these, like obviously it's nice if the print quality is good on them. I love how the front of this one looks. It looks like totally looks like wood grain on there. Like 100%. I mean, it's in plastic, but prints like these, I would gladly print on a printer that's, you know, not going to look fantastic, because these are functional as long as like the layer bonding and stuff is fine. Like I already sanded these down and stuff, and probably will clear coat them. But stuff like this, I'd love to be able to print on a secondary machine, so I can print like the higher quality stuff on my MK2. Imagination, the A6 seems better. Absolutely. Like, I'm 100% on board with you. I'm going to get both. I already plan on that. But the A6 is the successor to the A8, so I wanted to get the A8 first, see what I can do with it, and then kind of have that experience under my belt when I get the A6 in hopefully like 3 or 4 weeks. I'll be able to pick one up. Because price is definitely an issue. Like I got the A6. You can get the or I'm saying sorry the A8. I got the A8 at a price that you can get it for less than that if you wait for a sale. But mine was 160 and shipping was free. So it's basically like 160 out the door. And the A6 currently is, I think, like 190 and then about $30 shipping. So it ends up being, what would that be? Almost $60 more, which is 60 extra bucks is a lot when you're talking about a $160 item. So when I'm done with the A8, buy some 2020 and convert it to a hypercube. I wouldn't be opposed to that, but it's one of those things. If I get the A8 running well, I probably won't mess with it. I'll just get like shit at those prices. Like if I get the A8 printing decently and I wanted to make a hypercube, I'd probably just buy another A8 for $160. Like I probably wouldn't have the heart to undo a bunch of work for $160. One for my wife. Hell yeah, man. She's totally not into this stuff, but I'm forcing it. So she's going to learn how to maintain and operate a slingshot, and also we're going to make. I probably won't do this on the channel, but we're going to make some PVC bows this summer at some point. Just take like carbon fiber rod, put it inside PVC, and then you can heat it and shape it a bit, and they make actually really nice bows. Have I considered upgrading to the dual cooling fan on the Prusa, or at least modifying the air duct? That is something I've wanted to do since I own the MK2. There are some designs already for other printers where basically you have that same fan that we have on the front to cool parts, but then it comes down to a circular duct. And like, just personally, I think that's like a superior approach because you get uniform cooling. It's like we were talking about the cable chains earlier. One of the issues with printing some of the links for the cable chains is that with the links oriented in different ways on the print bed, the prints come out at different qualities because of the way the part cooling fan cools them and blows like just from the front to the back. So if you orient them one way as opposed to another, they'll actually come out nicer. And I think a little bit of work on the ducting on the MK2 could kind of fix that. If you're heating the PVC, you don't have to add the carbon fiber rods. 3/4 inch PVC would make a 20 or 30 pound bow. That's like for my daughter, man. That's why I need the carbon fiber. Or not carbon fiber, fiberglass. Because I'm looking for him to be in the 40 to 60 pound range. Probably like 40 for my wife. Maybe 60 to 70 pounds for myself. Like, I want it to be a real bow. And I wonder why if I have a scar if I give her a slingshot. Man, slingshots are fun. I am going to do a video on these. I have some TheraBand gold. Like some sheet rubber. I believe it's latex rubber, which is pretty much unanimously considered like the best like slingshot rubber that's available. So I'm gonna do a video on how to cut those bands, how to like attach them, because one thing that kind of sucks is though even though this is Jorg Sprov's design, there's actually some plates here that I'm gonna have to design that a bolt goes through here, and the plate will actually pinch the rubber to go back over the horn there. And they're actually missing from the STL as far as I could tell. I don't think I missed it. You know, a guy made a 120 pound bow. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's like an actual like English longbow at that point. I want to hunt my daughter with my bow. No, I don't. They do have terrible wrist shock. That is one bad thing about the PVC bows. They definitely do. I think I know the design you're talking about, where you take inch and a quarter and actually heat it and press them flat, and you can make like plates out of them basically. If I'm thinking of the same thing you're saying. 70-pound bow is tough to draw many times in a row. I agree. I agree it is. But that's why you use on a regular basis and you get some man shoulders. It's one of those things. Like I know a lot of people don't have an enjoyable experience with a heavy, like a bow that's too heavy to pull. But I've really been trying to get into shape lately, so I have no problem like working my body out a bit. Especially, I know we touched on it before. If you haven't figured out yet, this is going to be kind of like a hangout stream today. Uh, we talked about it briefly before. If anybody's ever seen or heard of HEMA, it's a historical European martial arts, basically like sword fighting. I'm trying to push to get a group of guys started in my area. So I need to start working my arms and shoulders out a lot in preparation for that. Aaron's PT100 pull request is going to be in the next firmware. Oh, that's nice. It's nice they're finally getting to some of that stuff. You're in the SCA. That's pretty cool. Like nobody in this area is really into it or has heard about it, but there's a jiu-jitsu gym that I used to kind of loosely be affiliated with in the area, and I'm trying to get them to consider like using their facilities on off days for some HEMA stuff. Imagination says I'm in A shape. Yeah, so am I. Oh god, and like we're on the tail end of winter. That's always like the worst. I've been sitting here at my computer for like the vast majority of the winter. Hell yeah, jujitsu. I like doing jujitsu. I never got a belt worth a damn, but I used to roll a lot. So okay, other stuff that's going on. Like I just mentioned the slingshots. Like I said, I have rubber and I have a bunch of steel balls in the shop. So we're gonna be doing some serious target shooting. Cause I'm gonna try to do like some of the first like outside footage that I've ever done, demonstrating like some basic techniques for using a slingshot and stuff. Cause I used to use these a lot as a kid. I was like a little Tom Sawyer. So I used to hunt like squirrels and like birds and basically anything that would sit still long enough with slingshots. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit because these are so easy to print. This I believe, yeah, sits like this on the print bed. So there's a little bit of support material under each of these ears and then a little under the handle. But beyond that, super easy print. And all you need in addition to this is some relatively cheap rubber, which I might actually put some up on my eBay store, basically at cost, like pre-cut some bands and stuff, if anybody be interested in picking those up. Because I know it's kind of intimidating to go to some of the sporting stores and try to figure out what the hell you need for slingshot bands and stuff. So I'll probably do that. I've wanted to do that a few times with some stuff because it just makes it easier for people to get it. And I don't really want to make any money off of it. Just have it there so people can, have access to it. But I got this in the works. I have the crossbow. Because I've got my whole little bin of parts here. Because there's a couple small projects with the crossbow. One is the trigger mechanism. I don't know if anybody remembers when I was messing with this before. This is the little trigger mechanism. I know it's a little tough to see. But, like, is it open, and then when you pull the string back, it'll like cock this piece. It'll hold the string. I can't reverse orient. And then when you pull the trigger, it'll open the mechanism and the string will release. The problem is this piece rocks forward or will rock backwards like that, and then you can't get the string in. So we need to change this piece to have like a little marker here. I need to change this piece to basically have like a spring embedded up in here to have a little bit of forward pressure on that piece so it won't cock back unless you put pressure on it. So I need to lay that out and get some of these pieces printed and beef some of these pieces up. I think they're a little small. This wasn't my design initially. So I got that going on. And then I also did, again, if anybody watched that stream, in the original Crossbow design, this is like a compound, not a compound, but I guess you could easily make it one. This is already, I think I did like a half-assed measure on it. This is about a 10-pound pull, maybe a hair more than that. So this is already a decent little crossbow. But the problem is, like even there, I pulled it a little too far. This has aluminum arms on it, and they kind of suck. So I think Earl had mentioned this, and it was a great idea. I went to Harbor Freight and got a bunch of stainless steel rollers. These are like $2 a piece. And I have one ready upstairs, but there's a couple steps you can do to get the cork off the back of these, and then you've got a nice, really easy to work piece of inexpensive, I don't know if you'd really consider this spring steel. It's not quite, but it is steel as opposed to aluminum. And then you can basically bunch, I'm guessing 3 of these up, and then we'll have to mount some hardware, which I've also already got. I've already got like improved designs for these end pieces, because these were my design, so you don't have to like mount the axles in the bow and stuff. You can actually have it in the PLA part and some little pulleys and stuff here on the end. I've got better designs for these that'll have better clearance and stuff. And we're actually going to finish, like, revisit this project and get some steel arms on here, and see how powerful we can make this thing. I wish I had it together. It is like a complete design, because like there's the trigger area, and then of course our like firing mechanism and stuff goes in here, but it's in a bunch of pieces. I even made some little bolts for it out of aluminum rod. Because even as is, this will bury this bolt about 1.5 inches in a cardboard box, which isn't too bad, considering. But we can do better. So we're gonna revisit this soon. I think I have some cutoff discs and stuff that I need to get yet, because this stuff's gonna be a little bit harder to work with than the aluminum was. But this is a cool project that's kind of in the works. Anything that shoots stuff, I'm all for. You could totally go squirrel hunting with that little crossbow, I think, if we can get a high enough draw on it. And then I saw these at the store the other day, and I've always wanted to get some. These are the Nerf rival balls. They're like miniature golf balls made out of foam, basically, is what they look like. And I'm working on a design that would be kind of similar in size to this, that would use like a crossbow style design that would shoot these rival balls out of like a clip. So you could just like cock the string back, fire a ball, cock the string, fire a ball, cock the string, fire a ball. And I think that would be a lot of fun. The only hurdle is for someone to do this on their own are the arms. And I've been talking to a couple people about maybe printing the arms out of some kind of material, but I don't know how likely that is to work. I forget. Is it the Shit, I can't think of the word. The polycarbonate. I'd like to print some out of polycarbonate and see how they handle it, because they're if you've ever printed with that polycarbonate, you can damn near bend that back on itself before it actually stresses the material and like will turn white. So I'm thinking maybe if we print some polycarbonate thick enough, we can make some arms that, like, obviously it's not going to be 20 or 30 pound pull, but I'm hoping you could print some arms out of something like that that would be functional enough to make a toy that would shoot something like these, because that would be a lot of fun. Yeah, ball magazine. Charles, when you get the pounds up on the crossbow, yeah, when we get the pull up on the crossbow, we're gonna a bolt like this won't work. I totally agree. Probably go to like a steel tip with maybe like a hollow aluminum shaft in the back. Probably something more like that would be more appropriate and more deadly. Because if we can get this little crossbow to like 30 pounds, shooting a steel-tipped bolt, you could damn near kill somebody with that. But I don't know. I mean, does anybody have any suggestions on maybe a material to use for some printed arms? Because I don't want anything that's going to like break and hurt somebody. But just in the experience I've had with it, like polycarbonate seems promising. That stuff is very tough and seems to want to return to its shape even if you really stress it. You're gonna put an eye out with that. Yeah. Nylon carbon. I'd be willing to try that, but at the same time, like, I want to keep it as accessible as possible. So, like, if it's a material that you don't need a hard nozzle for, that would be better. Though I honestly don't know. Maybe they recommend you need a hardened nozzle for that PC Plus, that polycarbonate. Hey, Luis, what's up? Gonna put an eye out. Yeah. I'm just seeing if I missed anything in chat here. I was talking for a while. Head wound. No, it was just I just was outside working on stuff and ran my bulbous head into a piece of steel. Yeah, Earl, I know that was a little while back, but did you manage to find that modified duct at all? Am I telling people that crossbow or that cut as a crossbow ricochet graze? No, it's not. That would be a cooler story than what actually caused it, though. Print flat rectangular parts from PC, nylon, and ABS and laminate them together. It might be possible that it would be like a composite kind of solution like that would work best. I've never actually printed with nylon, to be honest. To further your crossbow projects, you should make one of your projects be mostly printed CNC. I don't know what you mean. If I was going to do it like a CNC route, I could make a hell of a significantly meaner crossbow. Snapping peas on the back porch. I'm glad that time of year has come finally. I'm definitely glad better weather has finally gotten here. Tallman's new. I'll actually write that down. I always keep note cards handy here. The Tallman Nylon 230. Because I have to try some things out. Like I said, I'd like it to be as safe as possible. Do I clean off my workbench? A little bit. I always... The trick is to just shove everything back. It's like all these dungeon pieces and the figures and stuff, they were scattered all over. But if you just like push them all back, it makes it look way neater than it is when you're like this far away. Mostly printed CNC. Oh, I get what you're saying. Basically making a CNC machine. Well, the thing is, if you get on like GearBest, they have, I mean, they're small, but man, you can buy some little CNC machines for cheap. Plus, I have that Trinus coming. Man, if there was any 3D printer that would be a solid platform for a CNC kind of machine, the Trinus is definitely one of them. You're gonna make green peas with ham hocks. Don't tell Sir Pigsley. We didn't get a lot done. I don't know if you saw the last progress. But you might have seen this already. I haven't gotten anything else printed, which is kind of disappointing. But we did get. If I can slide them in here. Oh, they're still glued to the box. I did get him airbrushed. Though now that he's been sitting here, I want to bring him up to a lighter pink. I think this is a little too stereotypically pink. It's not like a nice like flesh pink. And having him sitting here on the bench and looking at him on a regular basis, like I think he's just a little too pink. And I think he needs to get paled up a bit. But we did the ears, same thing, like I two-toned the ears, and I did fix them so they're light on the outside and darker inside. But it's kind of the same deal with them. I think the inner pink color is fine, but the outside, it just needs to be a little like more pale, I think. Like if you compare this to my skin color, it's not at all realistic. Yeah, it needs yellow. Exactly. It needs to, like, I need to lighten it up a little bit. Looks purple here. Yeah, the webcams make the colors look a little bit funny. That's kind of distracting. Hey, what's up, Dawn? So, what does everybody think? I've been trying to get as much input as I can about what printers people would like to see me get. Because I've been slowly, as much as I hate to, I've been slowly like unloading some of the retro gaming stuff I have just because I don't do anything with it anymore. And I do want to focus on 3D printing more. It's an addiction for sure. Oh, it's funny your name's non-productive. Now you have to go to a work meeting. Thanks for stopping by, man. A Delta. Yeah, I was looking at some, but like the whole Delta scene is completely alien to me. Like I feel like I'm finally getting familiar with like normal 3D printers, and like I was looking at Deltas. I think I was on like See Me CNC's site last night looking at them, and it's just also alien. I'm not familiar with any of those models at all. Plus, I know there are some exceptions, but the price points on the Deltas seem to be a little bit higher. The monoprice Delta. Let's take a look at it. Like, if you guys don't mind, because it's something I do want to learn more about. So we're on monoprice here. I've never actually been on monoprice's site. I've never seen their printers. Do they have any Deltas? We don't want filament. get some sorting here. Hopefully we don't have like $75 filament. This is not at all what we're looking for. Does anybody know the name of a model we can look at so I'm not like just searching the internet forever? Did you find what you were looking for? No, I did not. You had a Cossel. I think that's what Matthew, one of the guys in the community hangouts every week. Well, he's actually the guy that started it. I think Matt had a Cossel as his first printer, actually. Just you make it sound so easy, my brothers Mario. Where do they have that? Gadgets and learning, 3D printers. All right, so we're kind of in the right ballpark here. They have the Maker Select, the Select Mini. Select Mini is a cool little printer. I don't know. Do they have them somewhere else on their site? It doesn't look like they have any of the Deltas on here. I don't see it. Maybe I just don't know how to internet good. Look at the Select Mini V2. I'll try to find it on here before I go sharing my screen and shame with everyone else. It doesn't have them in the comparisons either. It has the Maker Select and the Ultimate. But no Deltas. You have the FL Sun Cossel. The internet apparently is lying to me because I don't see it. Build a hang printer. I actually don't know what all's involved with that. They are pretty cool, though. Oh, yeah, see you, Ribo Friven. Good luck on your test. Product. There's someone with a link. Let's see. Maybe they're blocking their information to me. That would be rude of them. Product equals... Oh, I borked the link. I screwed the link up. No. Yeah, it's not. I can't. Damn it. I can't copy it correctly. Oh, I hate YouTube chat so bad. I can't get the last. I can copy that much of it. I can't get the last 3 letters in the link there. How stupid is that? Like, there's the Select Mini, but we were trying to find Deltas. Oh, there it is. Okay, so it is finally showing me one. I don't know why it did. I was on the same page, and it was not showing. It wasn't showing all these options. It wasn't showing the Select Plus or the Mini Delta. So there it is. They do have one. What the hell? There we clicked on it. Is it not released yet? why can't we look at the mini delta? It's taking us like to the front page like it's an invalid link. That's incredibly weird. Maybe they're not selling them yet? I don't know. Do you have like some insider link that nobody else has to get to that page? Oh, you can look at the specs. Okay. They said not for sale for about 10 minutes. So it's what? So it's going to be for sale like in 10 minutes? That's freaking weird, man. That's super weird. I mean, as far as like the statistics of it, it looks promising. This is I always kind of like laugh when I look at print speeds on printers, honestly, but I don't know, it looks fairly standard, I guess. It's funny how much information is not here, honestly. Can you get full specs on the comparison? No. Because like that, I mean, what kind of hot end does it have? What kind of like I assume it's a Bowden setup. I don't know if there even any direct drive deltas. Again, I know almost nothing about them. Product ID 15840. Let's check it out. Oh, well, yeah, the giraffe, I did bring that up before, but that's out of my price range. If I was going to spend $700 on a printer, I'm probably not going to experiment with like a Delta that I don't know much about. If I was going to spend like $700 on a Delta, I'd probably get where did I say I was looking at before? I forget what site I said I was on, but I'd probably get one of those. Let's see if I can find it here. I mean, do any of you guys in chat have a Delta, or are you just kind of like saying, "Hey, go buy this," because it's cool to me? Oh, the CME CNC, they have some pretty nice Deltas. Like their H2, the H2 I'd like to have a go with. It looks like a decent machine, and in addition to that, like my approach to buying things because I have a YouTube channel is like slightly different. It's one of the reasons I bought the A8. Like if I was just buying it for personal use, I probably wouldn't have bought the A8. I'd have got an A6 for 60 more bucks because I think it's a better printer. But I think the A8 is something that a lot of people want to see. They want to see like how much potential it has while like keeping the cost low. And it's kind of like the same reasons that this printer kind of interests me, because it's sort of like I think it's still like an entry level printer at $500. I don't know what shipping would be on this. I doubt they include it. But this seems like a solid machine. It's got a mini Rambo. The EZR extruder is like a decent extruder from what I've heard people say about it. Or it's a decent assembly. But this is if any of you are on the internet at all, CME CNC has given quite a few of these away in the last 2 or 3 weeks in some like giveaways and stuff. So there's going to be a lot of people that are, that have them, and a lot of people that are like interested in them. But they also have some like higher end Deltas too, like the Rostock Max. I think there's a couple YouTubers that have these that have had decent experiences with them. Definitely got a nice build area there in that bad boy. But no, I'd like to mess with some of them. You replaced, upgraded almost all of the parts on your Rostock Delta, really? Don't go 8-bit with a Delta. Only 32 gives you a bit of headroom. Gives you more headroom. Yeah, and an SLA printer. I've slowly started setting money aside. I've been reaching out to some companies a little bit for like review units. Um, Most of the companies are pretty nice. I've also been talking to is it Open Builds? I think, again, I could be wrong, but I think they're going to send me some stuff for a project that I want to do, which I'm pretty pumped about. But I've been reaching out to some companies a little bit more than I have because I hate doing that stuff. But at the same time, like, I need stuff to do videos on. Yeah, the Wanhao SLA printer seems pretty promising. But I would like to have one of those because it's kind of just like the same way I feel about getting something like the A8 and then having my MK2. Like, there's all kinds of prints that are fine to print on some things. Then there's other things that you want like a high-end printer for. And I've definitely got stuff I want to print SLA. So I'd like to have one of those. I have all kinds of stuff, especially for like personal things that I'd print for myself. I'd print a bunch of stuff. Even some things like cosmetic items. Like I'd probably print a part like this out of SLA, which might seem silly to some people, but like on your printer, this is a piece that's going to be staring you in the face every time you're up at that thing, and I wouldn't mind a little bit of bother to make that nice. SLA for dungeoneering would be awesome. It would be a little expensive to print your dungeon out in resin, but it would be sweet. Aspie with the contacts. Yeah, I'll definitely send you a message. Uh, yeah. Like I said, you kind of have to be a little bit shameless when you're asking. There's no nice way to like ask for things. But no, I could definitely put an SLA printer through its paces, I think, at this point. I even have like a subfolder of STLs that I'm saving for if the time ever comes. Earl's back. I'm guessing you didn't find what you were looking for. I know you mentioned earlier that the search function on Facebook is the suck, and it totally is. Have I seen Hero Forge? Yeah, definitely. If someone hasn't seen Hero Forge, we can take a look at it here. Hero Forge is cool, and their prices aren't bad, really. Hero Forge is a site that allows you to like customize. Like right here, like I like how their site is. It's right in your face. You can basically build the thing you want from like their options and stuff. Like say you want this weird satyr chick with like what would this be, like some ornate plus chest mail armor stuff, or like banded mail, something like that, and nothing. You just want that, and like you want it on a motorcycle. Like you can pick all the options you want and stuff, and then actually get them to print this for you, and it's kind of cool. And you can pick like all your like standard tabletop scale, and you can pick like your plastic. You can actually get them in steel and bronze also, which is kind of cool. Though I don't think the quality on the steel and bronze is like super great. Or maybe it's just the steel. I think I've seen some in the steel, and they're not, because I think they use like that powder technique where they basically glue layers of powder together. But that actually looks nice. But a little pricey. Like this chick, this satyr with banded mail on a motorcycle would be $59.99. So it's not cheap, but they are offering you a service that basically nobody else is. And you can, like, there's so many options. Like, there's tons of options. Swords in both hands. I don't know how she's ride her motorcycle, but and like, yeah, there's tons of options. Which does that just change the backdrop? Well, that doesn't mean anything. Give her a tail, and she can have like demon wings. But you see, it's not really changing the price. It's like it's got a fixed price more or less for like a size of miniature. But super cool site. I've definitely been on here like messing around before. Give her like a skirt. Well, that actually doesn't work out so great, but you get the idea. It is pretty cool. Popping a wheelie. But I don't know. I know the mount makes it kind of weird, but that's not a good look. Why is she looking up? Is it a pony? Why is it so small? Oh, it was a pony. Okay. It looks a little more correct. But anyway, like, you have to be careful. Like, there are some clipping issues sometimes with the way they model things. But overall, it's a pretty cool site. If you're into like gaming and have, I don't know, I guess I shouldn't say. I was gonna say if you have more money than sense, it's a cool site to check out. But no, like $30 if you just like have to have a mini for like a character you're playing or something. I don't know. I guess it's not the end of the world. But yeah, the mount definitely adds money because I think Earl's right. I think a more regular price is like 29. And the cool thing is if you like design something that you like here's a figure that Earl linked me. You can actually save the configuration, and like that's a cool looking dude. You can change like the base material. Like, I don't know if you want some cobblestone, you can do that, and you can change like some shit sitting on the base. Like, you can have candles on his base. It is really cool because it's something you can't do. It is a unique service. We'll leave it there. If you want a ranger with a tiki on his base, you got it. But it's a cool site. But it does give you a little bit of insight into the price difference between like SLA printing and like regular FDM printing. It is quite a bit cheaper to print with PLA. You can pay me $30 and I'll make it for you. Can you I guess you can't. Like, surely you can't download the STL, right? That wouldn't be smart of them to do. Doesn't seem like it. But no, it's a cool site. If nobody's ever seen it, at the very least, it's cool to go and mess with their little configurator. And I don't know. I ended up getting some ideas for NPCs on there before. You got him 90% scanned with the Autodesk app. You mean the little figure that you made? That's pretty funny. Yeah, you could use that as like some concept art almost. But it's cool. But no, like, I forget what we were talking about, like printers. Like I said, I got I got a Trinus coming, and the only other person I know that has a Trinus, someone actually messaged me today on Facebook and said that they had ordered a Trinus, and I think there's a bit of a back order on those, but it's cool that I don't. It was just funny that I just bought one within like 24 hours of somebody messaging me and saying that they had bought one, and I hadn't really mentioned it. But the Trinus looks cool. That's a solid little printer. That thing apparently is super heavy for the size it is because it's a whole bunch of steel. Afro 3D has a Trinus. Lauren from A-Buzz, I think, has a Trinus. I don't know if that's like her primary printer. I kind of think that's the printer that she used to do the big gear table that she did. But it seems solid. I'm anxious to see that. And it's used too, which I'm anxious to see how that is. I've always thought that before, that there has to be a lot of used printers out there that nobody uses because like people get all ambitious and want to get into 3D printing, and then there's like that bit of a reality check because it's something you do have to like make an effort to learn about. And like surely there's a lot of used printers out there for relatively low prices. What add-ons did I get for the Trinus? None as far as I know. I think it's just the printer. Because again, from what I've heard, again, and this is all hearsay, like I know 3D Maker Noob used the laser engraver and liked it, but I've heard from a lot of people that it's basically like a novelty. It's not like a very practical laser engraver because it's so underpowered. But I don't know. Like I said, that's all hearsay. I don't know how much truth there is to that. Joe Telling has a lot of unused printers. Yeah, he was, if anybody was there for the community stream, he was actually counting them up, and I forget what his total count was. I think it was like 27 or 29 printers that he has. And they're all like in various states of, I think that was assembled printers. I think he had like 27-ish assembled printers, and then he had a couple that weren't put together yet. But yeah, I think Joel definitely has like the highest count at this point of anybody I've seen. You heard me saying I got an A8. Is it underway already? No, it's being shipped. I haven't gotten confirmation yet. I actually just ordered it yesterday. It was during Jatman's stream, actually. I was just like sitting there, or right before it started, and I was like debating, and I keep putting it off, and I'm like, shit, if I don't order something soon, like weeks are gonna pass without me having a new printer to mess with. So I went ahead and ordered it, and it should ship out like today or tomorrow. But yeah, we'll do a live build with that. I'll do a live build on any printer. I'm even gonna do, like, when I get the Trinus, I'll like unbox that on stream and let everyone experience buying a used printer. Because I got it on eBay, so there's always like a chance that it's just a box of hot mess when it gets here, because some people don't ship stuff properly. I'm gonna do the MOSFET mod. I'm based on the A8. That is going to be like that thing is just, I'm gonna do everything I can for that. I want to try basically every mod I've ever seen on the A8. It's the nice thing about not getting another MK2 that I'm going to be afraid to do anything too crazy on. The A8, man, I'll try anything on that thing. Imagination, or just a box. Yeah, that happens on eBay sometimes too. As a buyer, I'm not concerned about that though. There's really no way to screw me as a buyer. As a seller, now when I sell things, I'm not going to let the cats out of the bags, because there are many bags, but there's a ton of different ways to screw sellers. It's like the guy that sold me this printer. I could screw him effortlessly and get a free printer out of the deal, but I'm not that kind of guy. You said you weren't going to mod it. There's really no drawbacks to modding. Like, as long as you're not doing anything crazy, like with the MOSFET mod, I guess it's possible you could wire something haphazardly and get yourself into trouble. Make the MOSFET mod the first one you do. It has a high chance to catch fire. That's probably a little bit of an exaggeration, I'm guessing. I haven't heard too many people say theirs has caught fire. But a MOSFET mod, I imagine, would be fairly inexpensive to do, so could do that sooner than later. 500 milliwatts is something to make tattoos on balsa wood. Basically, yeah. It's a cool concept. I think, like, when you look at the Trinus and the way it's built, I think it's a fantastic platform. Like I said, I'd like to see that thing turn into a CNC machine. That was one of the modules that they offered, right? But it's also kind of weird that, unless I'm mistaken, because it's made by Kodama, and Kodama is one of the companies I actually reached out to for review units, and they're like totally unresponsive. Kind of like their site's being unresponsive right now, actually. Oh, I had this tab up. I just realized the D7, the Wanhao Duplicator 7 resin printer is only $499. I didn't realize it was that cheap. That's it looks like it might be a slightly small build area on it, though. What is the build area on that? Does it say? Oh, there it is. 120 by 68. Holy crap. By 200. I guess you're not going to be printing anything huge, or I wouldn't be. I guess 68 is like this dimension right there. That's like, how long is that? 68 millimeters? 68 millimeters. That is, I don't know how familiar you guys are with the metric system. 68 millimeters is like the space between my fingers. That is fairly small. I mean, I guess if you're just printing miniatures and stuff, that's fine, but holy crap, that is not big. But no, it seems, I don't know. I'd use it. I'd use it for sure. I didn't realize it was that cheap. Holy crap. I could almost get that instead of the CR10. Because I think the CR10's like $410. I could put it off for a little while and just like save the extra 80 bucks up. But yeah, here's Kodama. Because they have, like, there's the laser etching upgrade and stuff. But I was kind of thinking they had a little CNC add-on too. Maybe I was mistaken. Yeah, maybe it's just a 3D printer and laser engraver. Because it's like, it's so robustly built that I think you could, that would be a decent little platform for like a CNC machine, like a little small one. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I was thinking of something else. So regarding the Trinus, oh hey, what's up, Joey? Would be a good candidate for sticking a real tiny nozzle. It could be. I mean, that could be the case because it does have a small build area. What is the actual build area on that? It is 120 by 125 by 125, which is yeah, that's not big. That's what, right about 5 inches, 5 inches square approximately, and you can definitely see that that's what it is on the pictures here. It's about 5 inches square with a little over 5 inches in height. But I just think, because I know people have commented on like the speeds you can print at with no backlash because of the way this thing's designed with lead screws on all the axes instead of belts and stuff. Get a metric ruler. I do. I have a metric ruler. I converted to inches because I have a lot of people that aren't used to the metrics. Reach out to Folger Tech, get an FT5. Yeah, I know there's a handful of YouTubers right now that have FT5s. I think Dustin's working with his FT5. That's the there was another guy, I can't remember his name, that was on the community stream that was working with his FT5 because I thought it was humongous. With the 12 by 12 by 15, almost 16-inch build area. It's crazy. You won the Maker Box Grand Prize. Where'd you win that from, man? Congrats. The FlashForge Creator Pro. What is this? Ah, that's sweet. That's like a $900 printer. Not bad. Oh, that's the one that has the fantastic dual extrusion system in it. Yeah, congrats, man. That's like a really cool machine. You didn't know you entered? What? How does that happen? I've entered like a ton of contests. I did win the one contest. I got shit, what was that? I forget what it was. Oh, it was that day we were printing with mystery filament. I won mystery filament in a contest. And they didn't even mark what kind of filament it was. We had to kind of guess. I'm just waiting for somebody to suggest to Joey that, yeah, you need to take that apart and build a hypercube out of it. You could have the nicest hypercube ever. You got an email around April Fool's Day, thought it was a joke. Yeah, I could see that. I probably would too, honestly. I'd be like, don't mess with me. This isn't right. Don't mess with me. Sorry, I just got an email I was waiting for. I don't know. Yeah, I just got an email from one of the companies I was reaching out to. Like, yeah, that's okay. That's acceptable, I guess. I guess it's better than nothing. I guess I can't really say anything. I shouldn't have read that, but how's the print coming along? I don't know. It doesn't look like much of anything yet. It looks like I have way more perimeters than I needed. How many perimeters did we put on that thing? Holy crap. Oh, it only has 4 perimeters. It looks like it has way more than that for some reason. But no, it's coming. It looks okay. It looks like the sides are nice. Have a nice little Beavis. Air printing? No, it's not air printing, is it? It doesn't look like it is. Or didn't look like it was. And the camera's still taking shots, so hopefully that, like... Hopefully we'll have a time-lapse of this in the future. Yeah, I think he's about 100 millimeters, or maybe like 120. I forget how big he is. He's not huge. I wanted to scale it up, but I think I'd rather do a test first. And like if this 3-hour print turns out nice, I'll kind of angle him on the build plate and try to make him as big as I can. You printed a Stargate replicator block, but the support seemed to fuse to the model. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of things. Well, not a lot of things, but there's definitely tweaks you can do to your support settings. Like I was for a long time using the default settings that came with the Simplify 3D profile for the MK2, and I was not getting good results. Because I think you need to tweak your support settings with your layer height. I've found. Like this is the support settings that I'm using right now, and hopefully they work out okay. Like I had generally been using something like this, and maybe since our layer height's really really thin on this print, I maybe should have went to 2 separation layers since we're only at 70 microns. But I tend to keep like the support infill itself low, and then the actual like interface layers a little bit denser. And you can see the difference here when we actually slice this and take a look at it. You can see that the bulk of the infill will be like really low density, just kind of like I don't know what you call that, like scaffolding. And then it'll do like a few layers of the denser infill, where it's actually going to like interface. And you can see a little bit that with 2 layers of separation, there's maybe a bit more space than I'd like. So if you give, oh no, I didn't do 2 layers. Huh. But no, there's definitely a tweaking you can do. That's why it's kind of cool. What I ended up doing was just taking an orb. Like, I actually just took, like, a ball that was maybe about an inch and printed it with support material, and then just kept, like, making one single tweak to my settings and printing it and seeing how it turned out, and just, like, tweaking that way in small incremental steps. You can kind of see, like, the effect that different settings have on your print. But it's painful sometimes to go slow and steady, but if you do it, you can get a much better understanding of like what the settings are actually doing. But the thing I was having the most trouble with, or that was causing me the most problems before I actually like tweaked the settings, was those like the space between the interface layer and the print itself. Because if you get it too far away, like the one, I was messing with settings on this Slingshot. I don't know if you can see it, but there's some kind of ugly areas even after sanding on this, because there was too much space between the support and the actual print, and you can get that kind of ugly spaghetti looking, like it's still stuck to the print, but it's not actually like pressed up against, and it becomes a really big issue with like low layer height. What in the world happened to my head? I hit it. I put it in contact with a piece of steel, and the steel's harder than my head. And it stole some of my skin. It made me bleed my blood. Because it did. It freaked my wife out, like, so bad. Because you can't help, like, I went into shock a tiny little bit. He started to get, like, that lightheaded, kind of nauseous feeling, like, immediately. But my wife, I felt bad because she's pregnant. She's like 33 weeks or something. I forget. She's ready to pop. But yeah, she freaked out because I had like blood running down across my eye. It was like dripping off my nose. It was down in my goat and stuff. Yeah, logical. Like I said, the thing that was the most beneficial for me was taking something like a really basic sphere. You can go like make it in Tinkercad or something, and then just print those like one at a time with slight tweaks to your support settings and different layer. That's the big thing to me is like the different layer heights to see like what settings you need to tweak and stuff. Because when your layer setting is really thick, like if you're printing it like 0.25 or 0.3 or something, it's a lot less touchy. But with like a print like this, I really wouldn't be surprised if it just bonded to the print. That's why I didn't want to print them real big. Like 3 hours is already enough to wait to see if you did something stupid. But much more than that, yeah, and it gets really painful. Yeah, I was leaking all over the place. What orientation did I print the Slingshot? It was laying like this. So it's like support under here and support under each of these ears. And overall, like there was a little bit of that, what I was talking about where, if I can get the light to hit that the right way, the layers just don't squish, or the extrusions just don't squish together quite right if they're not touching that support material enough. And there's a tiny little bit of that on the underside of these ears. But overall, it's a decent print. And same with this one. I think the light will hit this one a little bit better because I haven't sanded it. But you can see like how you have the nice sheen here on this where it all kind of like printed nicely. And then up here it's like a little rough because it just didn't, the extrusion didn't squish out quite as much as you'd like it to. But we've been rambling. I don't know, there was some other stuff I had going on too. Mostly just printers. I'm excited to have some printers coming. It's funny, like in my mind, the Trinus doesn't count. Like I wanted to get some kits and do some live assemblies, because we'll do the A8, though that probably won't be that exciting. I think, like hell, I've seen like 6 A8s assembled, and I'm sure some of you guys have too. But we'll do that on stream, and then we'll do some iterated tests and stuff for prints, and do some upgrades and see how that goes. And then, like I said, hopefully, if all goes well, I'll order a CR10, because I did a poll on Twitter, and it was pretty overwhelmingly the case that people thought I should get a CR10, because I asked if I should get a Wanhao i3 V2 one, the ANET A6 and A8, because they come out to about the same price as the Wanhao i3, a CR10 or a Trinus. And it just so happened I got a Trinus, and I ordered the A8. So if I get the CR10, I'll have gotten 3 of the 5 printers that were in the poll. And sometime later this year, I do want to get a Wanhao i3, because I think, based on everything I've heard from everyone, that will be a reliable printer that I can actually use, kind of like I use the MK2, how I just like print stuff with it and don't have to worry about it. So many people are getting the CR10s. Yeah, I think part of it's because the CR10, I think, is a pretty solid printer. It seems like it is to me, because it uses like the extruded aluminum rails with wheels with bearings instead of linear bearings, because I hate linear bearings. Yeah, like Angus, he recommended the Wanhao. I don't even think he has the 2.1. I think he just has a 2. And they did some improvements even over the 2.1 to the 2. And I think that printer comes out to 370 something. It's like 370 something plus shipping. And the CR10 has a very attractive build volume. Yeah, the CR10 has a big old build volume. That's a pretty solid printer. Did I see your Wanhao? I don't think I did, actually. Did you just get it? I pulled up your channel here. Are you liking it? Is it the 2.1? And it looks like you have the braces on the front, by the looks of it. Like you have some of the frame supports. I should get a Tico. Screw you, Chris. uh, though it would help the channel out, man. If you wanna get some traffic, do some Tico drama videos. They will get some views for sure. But yeah, I'm not getting a Tico. Though it does meet it ticks like 2 of the 3 boxes I have. It's relatively inexpensive. It's a Delta, but the third one is it has to not suck. And I think the Tico kind of sucks. No offense to Tico as a company, but yeah, the Tico by the looks of it kind of sucks. But I don't know. It looks cool. I mean that's got to count for something, right? Chris, you bought it after they went out of business for a desk lamp. That's cool. See, if I could get one for 20 or 30 bucks, I'd probably get one for that. I also was talking to Hobby King. I'd like to get like the new version of the Fabricator Mini. Seems kind of nice. And they have a couple other printers that I've had people ask questions about, like the M150 and the M200. Because they seem like okay little printers. Let's see if I can find it here. Because the M150 is very similar to the Wanhao. It might actually just be a rebranded Wanhao, for all I know. Oh, that's right. It's the Malian. But that seems like an okay printer. The price is okay. The price seems okay on it. And then the M200 is another one I've had people ask me about. Because this seems like a cool little printer. I like the form factor of these. Like they're nice and compact. Especially if you're not printing big things. Like this might be another printer that you could just kind of set it up with a smaller diameter nozzle and just have it, chugging away with printing minis or something. Get like 5 of these and just be printing a single dungeon tile out on each one and have them sitting there working away. But they also, I think they had a third printer. They also have this thing that I'm kind of curious about. What a strange little printer. I do like it that this has one of the horizontally mounted extruder assemblies. From what I've been reading, that's supposed to be a slightly better and more stable approach than the rods being mounted vertically, because you don't have that weight hanging on there that has a little bit of like leverage on the bars. But to me, this is just such like a strange looking printer, and that can't be very stable with just 4 rods for your uprates for like your superstructure, your gantry. But that was another printer I was like curious about. But I don't think it's cheap enough for me to pick up. Like $245, you can like, for not much more than that, you can buy some decent printers. The yellow one is horrible. It looks like it might be. Have I been talking about the Trinus yet? I just mentioned it. I mentioned that I got one. It's not here yet. But whenever I get the box, I'll just open it on stream. I won't even open it, so we can all be surprised together. Because I don't think it is. I got a shipping number, but I don't think it's the guy actually dropped it off at the FedEx office yet. But no, I'm anxious to see it. I'm kind of writing it off because it all happened so fast. I just happened to be looking around and I saw it and the price was fairly low because I think that's normally like a $370 or $80 printer. And I got it for like $200, which isn't bad. So I just went ahead and it was like an impulse purchase. I wasn't even like planning on buying one. But I was like, how I can make some videos about it. I don't know that there's much you can upgrade on that thing because of the way it's built. But hopefully it'll print reliably and I'll just have it sitting like off to the side of the bench, kind of just like printing all the time. Hopefully it'll work out like that. You would not buy anything from Hobby King. They stole $265 from me. That sucks. And it is okay. That is a rebranded Wanhao. It looks just like it. So I missed that comment. Imagination said, "How can they get that much money and fail?" It's weird. I don't know if anybody's actually like ever graphed that with Kickstarters, but it's actually the more money you get, the more likely it is you'll fail because it's so hard to scale these things, and usually the people involved are not at all accustomed to, I mean, business in general sometimes, but especially like businesses at scale. Like take anything, like you take a little like an asshole like me sitting in his basement making spinners. You know, I can make 20 or 30 of these a day without any problem, and they'll all be like I can make them to the same like level of quality, no big whoop. But if you would dump like $100,000 in my lap, I can't just buy a bunch of printers, hire some people, and start making 3,000 of these a day without having a shitload of problems. And I don't think a lot of people realize that. So a lot of times, like these Kickstarters, when they get like too successful, the likelihood that they're actually going to do what they say actually starts to like decrease. It's like you have the increase as the money comes in, and then you reach like this point where they just get too big, and it's like it just becomes more and more likely that they're going to fail. Which is sad. It is sad where like there's been some projects where I funded where they started to kind of catch fire and get like super popular, and you're actually like, no, stop giving them money. They're going to crash and burn. Just let them make some stuff and let me get my stuff. And they can do another Kickstarter later if they want more money. Like, stop throwing your money at them. The Mylan and the Wanhao are basically the same machines. Yeah, Star Citizen. I mean, Star Citizen, we won't talk about it too much, but if you want to Google Star Citizen, it's pretty much a case study in how too much success can just, like, make you fail. Because they were super successful. And I happen to know a couple people that have their $400 digital ships that they can go in their hangar and mess around with. But no, it gets crazy. It's weird. It's weird how things work. It's $3.99 just for the printer, some extra heat band and display, but 3D Maker GNU got some discount code. Which printer is that for, Eric? The Trinus. Yeah, Maker Noob. I should have bought printers sooner. I should have done that earlier on my channel. I just didn't have like the money. Getting more printers will definitely help me like grow the channel more. Because not everybody is like an MK2 fanboy. I think I've pretty much like cornered that audience. I need to branch out a little bit. But yeah, $3.99. So like $200 for the Trinus I thought was a killer deal. And it's like I said, there's probably, I don't know what people do with them. I don't know what people are doing with all their printers, but there is almost certainly a ton of people who get printers and are kind of overwhelmed by it and are just like, screw it, I'm done with this. I can't take the frustration. Or they have like some some minor problem that they end up like not being able to solve and they just kind of like want to walk away from it. There's got to be a ton of used printers out there. I just don't know how to find them. I agree, imagination. Like, I'm not going to buy a ton of printers. I just would like to have like 3 or 4 maybe, so I can get more stuff done. I'm so far behind on like printing. It's like Mr. Pigglesby. I wanted to have his torso printed out this week, and I just didn't get to it. I had other stuff printing. I need more room behind you. Yeah, my bench needs cleaned up anyway. The MK2 will quit being a little princess sitting in the corner and taking up more space than it needs to. So it's like I have to get them lined up. Uh, and it might seem like heresy to some, but I'm thinking of changing the orange at some point here. I'm always like changing everything, so I wouldn't be surprised if like every 6 months I like repaint the shop, do some different colors. Your list grows faster than your printer can print. Exactly. Like, I've got so much stuff that I want to print. It's like I honestly can't believe I got these printed because these are kind of like for personal enjoyment. And I forget what I was printing. I think I was printing like dungeon tiles again. And that print got done overnight, and I was like, F it, man. I'm printing these freaking slingshots, and I ordered some rubber. Hopefully that'll be here like tomorrow. I'm going to go out and shoot some birds. I'm never getting a secondhand printer again. Your first was an M3D Micro. I guess you just had a bad experience. To violet? No, I don't think so. I don't think we're doing violet. We could do like yellow and purple. Where did I order the rubber from? Amazon. They have TheraBand Gold on there at fairly reasonable prices. So I ordered I think I ordered like 12 feet. Because like I said, when I do this video, I'm gonna have some bands that I cut. Like I have a little roller cutter. I'm just gonna like cut my own bands for these, and probably when I release that video, I'll have not a ton, maybe like 10 or 15 sets of the bands and pouches up on my eBay store that I'll link to, and basically sell them at cost if anybody wants to pick them up. Because I know it's a pain in the ass, like if you're not used to that stuff, to get bands cut. Buying pre-cut ones can get a little bit expensive. So I'll just sell them at like cost plus shipping. Earl, I promise you make me glad I got more printers. Yeah, it's like Earl has stuff that he sent me that I want to print, and I wanted to have that printed by now, and I just haven't gotten to it. And I guess I really shouldn't complain too much, because here I am between prints, and I'm printing a freaking a Beavis. So I guess I can't complain too much. Pete is gonna boycott my stream when I see. I'm not gonna kill him on live stream. Look, I'll give. It won't go to waste. I'll give him to my cat. He'll eat him. Joseph said he lives for the fun and challenge of secondhand printers. The Trinus I got. There are some printers that I probably wouldn't buy secondhand. Like I'd never buy a secondhand ANET A8. That's that's like the kind of printer somebody would get and they wouldn't know what they're doing, and they'd try a bunch of things and probably mess some stuff up, jam the extruder all to hell, and then be like, well, I'm gonna sell this. But the like the Trinus I got, it looked like it was in good shape, and the way that thing's built, like even if the extruder and stuff would need replaced because it's all jammed up, I still think I got it at a low enough price that even if I had to buy a whole new extruder assembly, or how I just mod it and put like a E3D V6 on it or something. I should have be epic. I don't know how I'd even catch footage of shooting birds. I'd like to, man, if I wanted PETA to ban my stream, I'd do what I want to do and kill some of these freaking stray cats around my house. God, they're like the most annoying thing in the world. We have like feral stray cats around here, and there's like a little population, little posse of them running around. I'm not a violent person, but I would love to put a steel ball through the head of some of those bastards. Damn it. Because they walk around and spray everything, and they dig in my garden. Like, my one whole garden bed needs dug out because it's like a huge, like, outhouse for the community cats. Hate it. A gun cam. I don't have a rail system on my Slingshot, but the little Crossbow has a rail system on it. So we could use it on that. Sorry, unsub. Oh, well. If you love stray cats and you're going to unsub because I don't love stray cats, I'll send you some. I'll gladly trap some and send them your way. See how much you love them in 6 months when there's like 85 of them roaming around your house. So, I don't know. Do what you gotta do, Stefan. But there will be no cat killing on stream. It'll just be 3D printing, always. What time is it? I guess I do gotta go soon here. I got some videos to record. Which I guess, I don't know. It does look bad. It doesn't look good, does it, guys? It definitely hurts. I just hate that I have to record videos with that freaking crap big old wound on my head. It's the worst. Stray cats suck. I love cats, but strays are just the worst. Yeah, they are because they're all unhealthy. Like, they all have, like, eye infections and God only knows what, and they spray everything. Like, every time you go outside, there's just, like, cat spray, and you smell it, and it's horrible. And the thing that irritates me the most is, like, I try to keep my garden nice, and they dig in it, and it just, like, you think my face gets red on stream, you should see it when I see a cat pooping in my garden. I feel like I'm gonna have an aneurysm. RJ, there's been, like, so many people that said that. Get my wife to help me with some makeup. My wife actually doesn't wear any makeup, like, at all. She never has, ever since high school. She keeps it real. Like, obviously, I think my wife is attractive, but yeah, she never wears makeup. She's not that kind of girl. I've tried to get her on camera a few times, but she is... It's not that she cares about being on camera. She's just, like, totally 110% disinterested. Free fertilizer. That is not how cat poop works. Especially, no. It'd be different if cows were... I wouldn't be as mad if cows were walking up and pooping in my garden. But, yeah, the cats... Not quite as good. Mrs. Nillabean, I don't know if I have a picture of her here. I can try to find one. She'd be so pissed off if she knew I show a picture of her on stream. But she never watches my stream, so this is the price she pays for not keeping some accountability. By keeping tabs on what's going on. I don't know, I might not have any on here. I do have pictures on here, but they're just so disorganized that it's ridiculous. Plus, I shoot pictures in RAW, so a lot of the pictures on here are in RAW format. I hope that came out right. I don't shoot RAW pictures. I shoot pictures in RAW. That's a format. I don't know. I have like 8,000 pictures of my daughter on here, but I don't think I have any of my wife. There's cousins in my workshop and my stupid face, and I have like 1 billion eBay pictures on here. No, I'll find one sometime. You guys are see her sometime. Maybe I'll like trick her into getting on camera one of these days. Which, oh god, she will freak out. But I could probably get her to come down here sometime I'm streaming and not realize it and just lie to her and be like, yeah, I'm not streaming. Someday, maybe. Oh, let's see my daughter. Oh, I've got a ton of pictures of my daughter. Where are some at? There's almost too many. And I'm like so disorganized. I don't know if you guys are like that. Crap, it's probably easier for me to pull my Facebook up. But yeah, who doesn't have a bunch of family pictures? Like, here's one of my daughter. That's a picture I took. I have a cute little kid, eh? Yeah. My stupid bald head. It's the only thing, like, I like taking pictures with my daughter because they're nice to have later, but I always feel like I mess the picture up. It's like the picture would be better if it was just her. But, yeah, anyway. I have some decent pictures that I've taken of my daughter. Like, there's a decent picture. I took that picture. I try. I'm like an amateur photographer. I try. There was a Ghost in the Shell episode. The guy only thought he had a wife. No, I actually do have a wife. I'm not one of those weirdos. I actually do have a wife. I swear, guys. There are pictures of Mrs. Bean on Facebook. Are there? She's like camera shy is like an understatement. She hates getting her picture taken. I don't know. I don't see in here. They must be from like a long time ago. Anyway, I can't find them. My computer is like way too disorganized, which I want to do. I want to do a video on that soon about like keeping files organized, because I'm sure a lot of you are like me, where you have just a stupid number of STLs floating around on your computer, and it's really tough sometimes to keep them organized in a way that makes sense. And I've been trying to come up with a system to kind of help with that. And because it's one of those cases where, like, I'd like to share the things that I came up with because they might help somebody. And at the same time, like, I'd like to basically start the conversation in a video. Because I'm sure there are people out there that have ideas that I could probably benefit from. Because if you ever think you are good at doing something, talk about it on the internet and people will let you know how you should be doing it. All right. Anyway, guys, I'm sitting here looking on my computer here. In subfolders by type of design. Well, yeah, but see, the thing is, especially when you talk her in the hospital. Yeah, Daryl, I'm sure she totally wants that picture out there. Her sitting on the hospital bed. I know that I instantly remember the picture you're talking about. Yeah, there are pictures on my social media of when she was in the hospital after having my daughter. Or maybe just before having my daughter. One or the other. But the problem becomes, especially with like things that you've already sliced, is keeping them straight. Because like me, like I use as many as 5 different nozzle sizes, like just with a single printer. I mean, it gets even worse when you have like multiple printers. Uh, but as soon as you like start doing that, and then like different files sliced at different like layer settings, and files that are sliced with different filament settings, like some of the stuff I have sliced for polycarbonate, and there's some I have for like the MG94 like ABS I was printing with, like the Omni, the green stuff that we printed this little crossbow with here. That's got totally different settings than everything else. It gets overwhelming. That's why I was trying to come up with this like a system of labeling everything that kind of nests them nicely in lists when you have them sorted by name. Gotta go. Hockey training coming up. Oh, that's cool, Eric. Good luck with that. Don't come home looking like this. I've seen hockey injuries similar to this. But yeah, no, I think it's like an interesting topic, the whole idea of like file organization, because you have like the two different realms. Like you have there's more than that, but you have like the organization on your computer, and then you also have like the organization on like your SD cards if you print with that kind of setup, because you can use folders and stuff. I printed for like 3 months before I realized you could have folders on your SD card. Check out the flipping funnel for the Prusa IK. Is that the thing number? What is this flipping funnel you speak of? This is what... I guess this is what you linked. I don't know what I'm looking at here. Easily change the nozzle. Oh, I see. Full screen is unavailable. Oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah, that's something I've complained about. Definitely, is not having very good access. Like, I see something different already. Is this an MK2? Oh, I was going to say his heat block sideways, but no, I see what he's doing now. I need to start using a socket when I change my my nozzles also. I don't do that. And I guess that's like a light attachment? Is that like a light there on the side? Because that'll get in the way of the 40mm fan I'm putting on here, unfortunately. Oh, no, that's cool. I have to check that out. I mean, I guess I did just check it out, but I have to look into that more. It looks like... Well, I think that's a cool concept, but we were also talking earlier this stream about getting... what would that be called? Like a 360... part cooling. See if that'll bring up one. Yeah, like one like this. Talking about getting a 360-degree like part cooling fan for the MK2. I think that would be a really good upgrade for it, because it's often not too much of an issue, but there have been prints where I've printed and the fact that the MK2 only blows from the front to the back does become an issue with certain parts. And like I said, it's probably only like 1 out of 10 to 20 prints that you do, but it does become an issue occasionally. Yeah, the Noctua, I got it, or Noctura, or however the hell you say it. Yeah, I got one. It should be coming today. Let me put the cam on the print. Let me check really quick. It might have come. No luck. I was hoping that might have come today, or come already. It will come today, but I was hoping it came so I could check the fit in this little holder. No such luck. Nilla's gone. Smash that like button. Noctua. Noctua. Not what I would have called it, but I guess that's how you're supposed to say it. Check the TiVo. We can take a look at that. I'd like to take those circular coolers. Yeah, even this design. Something like that, because, like, obviously I think the circular ones are the most ideal. But even if you'd get air coming down from more than one direction, I think it would help. Because this one is effectively 360 degree cooling. Because, like, this side will cool everything in basically that 180 degree arc over here. And this one will do the same over here. And I think you'd probably get fairly even cooling with that. I guess the issue becomes whether or not... I wonder if we can get a picture here. Here's a picture. The issue would become whether or not there's a place to mount it. I guess we actually do have a fairly nice surface. Like, if we would take this fan off, you've got a nice flat mounting surface there, because you could mount the fan, you know, in a slightly different orientation like some of these do, and try to use, like, the same fan, just orient it slightly, like, differently. But I'd like to mess with that one day. And the nice thing about this bracket for the 40 millimeter fan is it actually hooks onto that 30 millimeter block and pulls this out to the side. So you'd probably have even more clearance there on the front than you already do, which would be kind of cool. But I can't believe somebody hasn't designed a circular cooling duct for the MK2. The only thing that would kind of suck is, like, it would cause me problems because I change nozzles all the time, and it would be kind of a pain in the ass in that sense, that it would be in the way, because it would be down, like, kind of surrounding the nozzle. Oh god, this picture's embarrassing, but here's some of the family. I was a more exuberant jumper than everybody else. We all saw that for long enough. Leave it at that. Has anyone tried Cura 2.5 yet? I have never tried Cura at all, somehow. I've never had it installed. You're hesitant to install it because you'd have to wire it in. Like, I'm gonna do a video on this whenever I do it. I might even do it today, depending on how long that print ends up taking. I think it's only like 40% done. Because I think the easiest way to do it, you are going to chop the wires, or I'm going to. I guess you could undo your wiring bundle the whole way back to the board and do that. I don't know. I don't know how long the leads on the Noctuas are. The leads on most fans aren't super long, and you probably need what that looks like, just rough guessing, at least 12 inches. Yeah, at least 12 inches. You'd probably need closer to 14 inches of lead to actually make it the whole way from the fan back to the control board. So I'm just going to snip the wire out at the front of the extruder put a connector on there, and then solder a connector onto the leads of the 40 millimeter fan and do it that way. That way, if it ever needs replaced, I can just like buy a new fan, put a connector on it, pop it right on. And if for whatever reason I'd ever want to go back to the original fan, I can do the same thing. I can just put a connector on the original fan, snap it together, and be good to go. I haven't decided on a connector yet. I'm probably going to get if you've ever seen the connectors that RC cars use. I don't know what they're called, but they have like one flat plate like this and one flat plate like that. And it's just like a really basic friction fit plug. I always like those plugs. They hold really well, and they have fantastic like conducting surfaces. Have you upgraded to the MK2S? I have not yet. I would like to do a comparison. Has anybody seen any comparison videos yet? Anybody that's got their kits? JST connectors. Oh yeah, those yeah, and they're cheap. Anybody that doesn't know what those are. Like these connectors are pretty solid. That's a two pin JST. And some of these I don't know if they tend to come with actual like clips, like an actual retainer of any kind, but usually like the friction fit on these is good enough that you really don't need anything additional, because this fan won't really have any kind of you really never touch it or have any movement or anything, so it shouldn't really be a problem, I wouldn't think. Or Dean's connectors. Is that a Dean's connector? Oh, yeah, there they are. Okay, yeah, that's what I was saying about like the RC cars. I always used those on battery packs, and they seem to. This is the one I mentioned where there's like two poles that are kind of flip flopped, and these perform really well. These are what most like high end RC cars use to connect their battery packs to the actual like car, and they fit really nice. They connect and decouple really nice, and I've never really had any problems with them coming undone. So I'd imagine a fan is going to be a-okay with a connector like that. Hanuifi is just building the MK2S. I think you're going to enjoy yourself. I mean, whether or not you enjoy the actual build will be kind of dependent on the kind of person you are, but the actual printer you should enjoy. Yeah, Daryl Thorne knows what's up. The Dean's connectors are sweet. I've used those in so many projects just because they're so simple. And they're so easy to solder to because it's just like a double-ended plug, and you just like heat shrink tube on one side. Way overkill for the amperage. Very true. Very true. But they are good connectors. And they're the kind of connector that it's, if you do any electrical work at all, it's they're really nice to buy in bulk because there's so many things you can use them for. And you can actually use those for any number of I don't know if they have, I was going to say they have different poles. Did they have 3-pole Dean connectors? I don't think they do. Hot damn, they do. I've never actually seen those before, but... Or did somebody... Oh, okay, I think somebody made a custom one here. I saw this picture and I was like, holy shit, they do have a 3-pole Dean connector, but... It doesn't look like they actually do. Oh, well. Can't have everything. But yeah, they are great for big fingers. The Noctua comes with a bunch of adapters and extension cables, nice box and accessories. Yeah, I've had some like not 40. I've had some 80 and 120 millimeter fans from them, I believe. I think they were Noctua because they're all uh, that kind of ugly color, honestly. Not a big fan of their color scheme, but it's easy to identify their products. Yeah, I've had some of their 80 mil and 120 20 mil fans because they're nice and quiet. Especially the big ones. Holy crap, are like the 120 millimeter fans ever quiet? You're considering to order the Prusa MK2S and re-engineer it, or precision mechanic. Could be better on the Prusa. Honestly, Christian, if you were going to do that, I would suggest just like not ordering the MK2S in the first place. If you want a really precision machine, there's some ways you can do that are a lot more cost effective than starting with a whole printer. Like there's some guys that do. Can you actually Google that? The what did they call that? The Prusa Haribo edition. Yeah, they did. There's some videos of that. Oh, that's so funny. Google like a Prusa Haribo edition or something like that. And here's like a very short view of like a video just to get an idea. Like people use basically a lot of the MK2 parts that you can get the STLs for free because it's open source, and then use like I think this is like 2020 extruded aluminum rails, and you can actually beef it up even more than that. You could go with like a 3030 if you're really feeling crazy. But you could go this approach and get a machine that's a little bit more precise because your frame's going to be a lot more rigid and you'll be able to use like higher printing speeds. But if you do it, if you go that route, there's a couple cool things you can do. Like you can actually just buy the MK2S upgrade kit, or is it the MK2 upgrade kit for upgrading the MK1 to the 2. It actually comes with a lot of the hardware and stuff you need, and then there's just like a couple items that you'd have to source like independently. Because I don't know if they sell. Actually, I haven't checked. They might eventually do an MK1 to an MK2S kit. It's possible. I don't know if they've done that yet. They might not. They might just keep it from like the MK1 to the MK2 and then the 2K or the K2 to the 2KS. But yeah, like Gusner said, buy the upgrade kit. It has a bunch of the hardware that you need, and then just like buy the rails and stuff separate because you don't need the gantry and stuff at that point. You're just going to build it out of the extruded aluminum, and you can get a really really sweet printer by doing that. It's something that I would love to do personally because I think your cost. I was Joseph Tam is the guy that I was talking to because he did. I think he's done more than one at this point. The Prusa Haribo edition, as it's lovingly called. But yeah, you can print. I lost my train of thought there. But you end up buying just like some of the miscellaneous hardware and stuff. One of the hardest things to source has been the MK42 heat bed that the MK2 uses, but I think there's finally some people manufacturing those. Like someone had contacted me before about like a Groupon to get some of those, but I don't know if anything ever came of it. But yeah, it'll make you a really nice printer if you do that. There's I don't know if anybody here has a link. Like Joey, do you happen to have a link to the Hangout? Because I think if you go to the Hangout, there's actually a little like subsection there for info with like some parts lists and stuff. If you'd be interested in that. But yeah, then Joseph's going to come out with the MK3. They're going to come out with something at some point. Prusa Research is going to launch another printer here at some point, and I think they've said before they're going to be catering more to like the professional slash industrial, manufacturing side of things more so than the consumer side. So it'd be interesting to see if they come out with like a fully enclosed machine or something like that that's like a lot more engineered than the MK2S is. It'd be interesting to see what they end up doing. A grope on? No, a Groupon. Bruce's names are getting a bit silly. They have, okay, so there are MK. What's the MK42 heat beds? I know a few months ago they were basically impossible to source, but I do know that some people have started manufacturing them because I think they're open source as well. Oh, that's right. I forgot about this. Right here is an Indiegogo, and of course it's got all the bullcrap associated with being an Indiegogo, but yeah, I forgot about this because I kind of wanted to throw some money at it to potentially get like another heat bed, but you can see it's basically absolutely identical. It's just gonna be like Sans hardware, but it's the same deal. It's got like the inductive mesh bed leveling, so it's got your points embedded for the bed leveling, and then it's got like the heat zones for the multi-zone heating and stuff, just like the MK42 does. But no, so they're out there, or they're going to be out there soon, which is kind of cool. Oh, Joey posted a link to that group if you'd like to go sign up. It's I think it's a little bit more than just an MK2 group at this point because there's so many people and a lot of people have more than one printer. But if you want any information on like the extruded aluminum MK2s and stuff, there's like a whole subgroup over there, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Patrick. See, that's something I'd maybe be willing to do for my A8 as well. Uh, though it is kind of like people say, you get too far in, you probably should have just bought like another printer to begin with. But we can take a look at them here. All the fidget spinners, it's like half the things you see on Thingiverse now. I'm glad people have started moving to like the steel balls and the outsides as opposed to bearings because they make much better spinners. Like they spin a lot better. Oh wow, that's an A8, or well, I guess it was at one time a day. That was an A8. It looks like a legitimate printer. Not to say it wasn't to begin with, but like to me though, at this point, it's like you've done all this work. You might as well just like shit, just put like an E3D V6 in it, like a nice heated bed. I don't know. I guess there's diminishing returns for like your investment dollars with some printers, I guess. Indiegogo. Yeah. There's a lot of risk associated with doing like the Indiegogo approach, definitely. Does Prusa Research have a patent on that board? I do not know, actually. I'm assuming not, because that's been their general MO with like everything. I assume they don't have a patent for it, but if you want to go crazy with a printer build. Oh, I have seen this thing. Yeah, this is definitely like taking it to the max. That's quite the printer. That's a serious piece of hardware. That's funny. God, that's so big. Like, what do you do if you want to have a heat bed? Like, where the hell do you like? What are the chances that that bed is flat? Like, honestly, what are the chances? Like, how much would a piece of aluminum cost to get it that big that and have a level of flatness that's acceptable for 3D printing? You'd need like 800 points on there for your mesh bed leveling. Yeah, like Logical Waste said, like if eventually you're kind of metaphorically turning a Civic into a Mustang, or so, maybe even something more than a Mustang. Just buy the Mustang. But all right, guys, I think we've run our course today. We've just been sitting and talking about stuff for like 2 hours now. I can take a look at this print. This print, it looks like we have some feet. I gotta say though, it looks really good. I know it's a little tough to see on this camera. I'll see if I can zoom it in a little bit. The print looks really good. Try to let that autofocus. There's no chance it's gonna focus. But I don't know. Looks really good. You have to take my word for it. I promise. But it looks like with some really minor sanding, we'll basically be able to make that look like it was injection molded, printing it at 70 microns. Still running the 0.3. No, the 0.35 is on there right now. But it looks good. I never have any complaints about the MK2. Like usually, if there's problems, like I was complaining a little bit about the where the support material contacted on the bottom of the slingshot and stuff. But that was me. I could have tweaked the settings a little bit better. So it's going to be. I know it's going to be a jarring experience. Go into like the A8, getting that like built and running that for a while. Hopefully it's not too bad. Like I haven't seen too many people. Like it's not hard to find people that have horrible experiences with it, but a lot of those people are new. Like I'm hoping I have enough experience to take the pain out of some of it. But it's going to be interesting. Like I said, if I was buying it purely for personal use, I probably would have picked up the A6 for like 50 or 60 more bucks because I think it's a better printer. But I wanted to get the A8 because it's super cheap, $160 printer, and people ask about it a lot. So it'll be interesting. You should get a Big Rep 1. What's that? I've never even heard of that. The Godzilla of... How big is it? Daryl, have you ever seen... Google the Part Daddy. I think that's the biggest printer I've seen. If you haven't seen it, it's worth taking a look. Because this is a Delta printer that See Me CNC. This is actually a 3D Printing Nerds video. This is the Delta printer that See Me CNC made just because they could. That's the Part Daddy. That thing is like hilariously large. It actually doesn't even use filament. They use the PLA pellets, and like it actually has a vacuum that sucks them up into the extruder assembly, and then like an auger to push them down through the tip. But yeah, this thing printing is just like ridiculous. Look at the extrusion size of that. That's like the size of your index finger. But it's kind of crazy. If you've never seen it, I thought it was just like worth taking a minute to look at that. if nobody's ever seen the Part Daddy. You can Google it. There's tons of videos of it at different places because they like haul it around to events. Like it was at the Midwest Rep Festival, MRRF. But yeah, I have the big rep pulled up here. Let's take a look at it. I've never heard of it. I'm glad you mentioned that. It's always cool to see new stuff. Holy shit. That's like that's bigger than the Part Daddy. I'll have to oh, and that uses filament. Holy crap. I wonder what the nozzle size is on it. It goes down to 400 microns. Oh, no, it goes down to 150 microns with a 0.5 millimeter nozzle. Holy crap, that's way smaller of a nozzle than I was expecting. A 0.5? Does that mean, like, I'm kind of guessing here, does that mean it has, like, a 1 millimeter nozzle? I wonder if it actually says. But it has a build volume of basically 1,000 by 1,000 by 1,000. That's insane. Do they actually have a working one? We need some videos. That's crazy. That is huge. Oh, they did. They did. Oh, I thought that was another scale shot. Look at the scale of that thing. Holy hell. They did have a link to a video here. Watch the video. Let's watch the video. Let's skip to the good parts. Okay, that's like a 2-year print. If this has like a 1 millimeter nozzle, like a print like that surely is like a 1-year print. Gonna print a desk. Yeah, that's kind of cool. That had to have taken like 3 weeks to print that, honestly. But no, that's cool. I don't know. Has anybody here seen that before? Holy shit. A 2 millimeter nozzle. Still. God. Yeah, like 3D Tinker said, that has to be like astronomical print times. I guess some things, I don't know. It's like my dad. My dad like complains about how long prints take on this. Like he'd probably scoff that it took me 3 hours to print Beavis. And it's like, what do you, I can't, it's like this. I can't buy this part. So even if I have to wait like an hour for it, who cares? I have something in hand that I can't buy. Like surely that has value. Like my little like fan shroud here. I can't buy this. Won't take long. He obviously has an X-Men chick overseeing the print. Yeah, it doesn't even have like a computer. She's just like manually. She's got 2 joysticks back there, like running the controls. You get your own. Yeah, you basically get your own X-Men chick for 40K. But no, that's cool, man. Yeah, because I don't know anybody that was here that wasn't here earlier. Do keep an eye on the channel. I have a Trinus coming. I have the A8 coming. The Trinus will be here before the A8. It's hard to tell when the A8 will be here because it's coming from China. So that could be up to 2 weeks. It's hard to tell. It was a dual extruder. I did see that too. Though at that scale, why doesn't it just have like 16? Shit, just have like yeah. Just have like a 25 extruder, like Pantone head assembly. But yeah, I got the Trinus coming, the A8, and then if all goes well, I'll be ordering a CR10 tomorrow, and I don't think that's back ordered, so hopefully that'll be here in like a week to 10 days. Nilla, what character would you really want to print? I don't know. I don't know. That's a tough one. I don't know. I haven't really been playing anything. Oh, it'd be cool to have a Li Ming from Heroes of the Storm. I'd print one of her if I had a file for it. Since she's my main squeeze on Heroes. I have rolled a lot of face with Li Ming in Heroes of the Storm. I play her on like a diamond level, and with everybody else, I'm like on a bronze level in their ranking system. It's ridiculous. Yeah, Hellbent. That's what it basically looks like. Somebody converted a shipping container into a 3D printer. Just rig it and hook an extruder to it. All right, guys, I gotta head out. I need to get some videos recorded, and my shop is still like my table over here is like a hot mess, like shit all over the place. So I need to do a little bit of cleaning, get stuff sorted out, and try to get a video or two, or hopefully 3, if all goes well, recorded. And you'll know when some videos were recorded. You'll be able to see the the exact date at which certain things were recorded. But no, as always, like, thanks everybody for hanging out. I know today was kind of just like a hangout stream, just kind of shooting the shit, not really accomplishing too much. But as always, like, thanks for hanging out. Said we got projects in the works. We got the crossbow. We're gonna get the arms on this sorted out. We've got some slingshot stuff coming up soon. Not going to be killing anything on camera as much as I'd like to. Sir Pigglesby will hopefully get back on track tomorrow night. I'm hoping to print the torso out for him, so we'll try to keep that moving along. So I do want to get that done because that's a super cool little project. And I don't know, other stuff. There's other stuff going on. I just can't think of it. But as soon as the A8 comes in, I'm gonna do a live build. It might not even end up being on a Tuesday or Thursday. I'll probably do it like whatever day it gets here. Even if I do like a real late night, like all-nighter, I want to throw that together. So that's coming too. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. Thanks everybody for liking the stream and all that jazz. Thanks everybody on Patreon. Like, Patreon's been fantastic lately, which I'd never expected. So I do appreciate everybody that's on Patreon. It helps me do things. It definitely, like, Patreon definitely enabled me to buy the couple printers that I have coming. It definitely, like, gives that little bit extra where you can justify, like, making big purchases like that I can't normally do. So really appreciate that. And just in general, like, watching videos and stuff really helps. If you're so inclined, because I run ad blocker too, so I can't say much, but if you add the channel to your exception list, that also helps. So thanks to everybody that does that. But yeah, thank you. Something. See you next time. Hopefully video tomorrow, like the 3D Dungeoneering will be out tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that. Peace, everybody.